Hey, buddy, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. Of course, I'm joined by the mascot of this year's WrestleMania, Rich Stambolian.
Yeah, baby, just an average white guy in a typo negative t-shirt.
That's great. You know
that's what people have paid to see.
That is the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go, what's up?
WrestleMania.
Welcome to WrestleMania.
You know what? You should do it. You should go out there. Go get on a flight right now. Go there.
It's Easter weekend. Oh, thanks.
It's Easter weekend.
I do like
Easters.
Vegas, though.
It's double Easter. It's Greek Easter. It's
Oh.
regular Easter. It was Passover this week, so everything at once. And WrestleMania is late this year. We have a lot to talk about the timing of WrestleMania and it being Easter and the ticket sales. We're going to talk about that. But it is WrestleMania weekend. And, man, last night, so much stuff was going on. So much wrestling last night. A lot of great stuff. You got Butterbean and Minoru Suzuki. You had Bloodsport, which Bloodsport has probably become the most fun and unique wrestling concept in years.
Yes.
Right?
It's really fun.
We all agree on this, right? That thing is...
Absolutely. And he's starting to make it more of a... Now people have records in the Bloodsport concept.
Oh, wow.
So it's becoming its own, like, mini wrestling genre, really. I mean, where he's having events.
So let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think if Pancrase was originally called Bloodsport, it would have had more longevity?
I was a big Pancrase fan because my father loved like all this like combat fighting, right?
Yeah.
You know what? If Pancrase was called Bloodsport, I think it would have had probably a little bit more longevity. Because what is a Pancrase?
Right. Bloodsport is such a cool name. And this was Bloodsport 13.
Yeah, they've done it for a couple of years now, which is amazing. When my wife and I, when we would go to LA like all the time, we would train at Boss Rutan's gym over there, Elite MMA, because Randy Katami is a friend of mine. That he was one of the trainers for Kimbo Slice. So we would go train with Randy, and they would have the Pancrase titles on the wall. And my wife comes up to me, she's like, "Can I ask you a question?" She goes, "What the fuck is King of Pancakes?" I was like, what? She's like, that title, it says King of Pancakes. I said, no, King of Pancrase. King of Pancrase, not King of Pancakes.
Yeah, but King of Pancakes would be a fantastic gimmick.
Boss Rutan, the King of Pancakes, I believe that 100%. Amsterdam, they got some good pancakes.
Yep.
WrestleMania week, like I said, big week here. I've been very MIA the last couple of weeks. I had a brutal gout flare-up.
King's
now you're going to say, Andrew, you take care of yourself. How the hell do you get gout? I have no idea. I
don't think you take care of yourself.
You don't think so?
We had this conversation with you and your wife on the phone 2 weeks ago.
I take care of myself.
You were like, I had 4 pieces of sushi today, and that's it.
And that's it.
White wine.
Yeah, and a glass of white wine, and that's fine. So I had a terrible gout flare-up. I'm on all these meds right now. I'm on 2 different types of steroids. I'm on colchicine. I'm on everything you could imagine to kind of knock this. And I was feeling a little better. And today, it's come back with a vengeance. So it's still going on. So
well, thank you for doing the show. I know you had to cancel everything.
I had to cancel a lot of stuff. I haven't really worked in 2 weeks, which has been miserable. But I'm here today because it's WrestleMania weekend, and we got to do a show, and talk about this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fascinating time. A lot of moving parts in wrestling. By the way, also Collision was last night. Very good show. Dynamite was a ridiculous home run, surpassing WCW Nitro as the most longest running primetime pro wrestling show on a Turner network. So I'm wearing my Nitro shirt right now. Major milestone for that company. A lot of people came out and congratulated them, including Eric Bischoff. 289 episodes of the show. And it also goes to this means something, right? The fact that Nitro was on for 289 episodes only in the history of that, Monday Night War that is still spoken about almost 30 years later. The start of that war, 1996. So it really, it's really interesting to me on how, or 95, when it's, I guess 96 really picked up when the NWO debuted, but we're still talking about this. We still talk about this. And 30 years later, it just shows you the impact of this show. If that show had not happened, the likelihood of AEW existing on a Turner station would probably not be reality. The whole outcome of the world of professional wrestling would be totally different if Nitro had not started beating WWE. So there's a lot. Right. There's a deep dive, and I'm sure Rich and I could talk about that another time. But Rich, where do you want to go?
Let's do a quick word association. When I say Monday Night Nitro, what's the first word that pops into your head?
Monday Night Nitro? Scott Steiner.
You know, I have a funny word too. You know what the word is for me?
What?
Oily.
Very oily.
I always felt like Monday Nitro was a very oily show. Everybody was just straight oiled up all the time.
I just watched the Dark Side of the Ring with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I hadn't seen that one.
Oh wow!
And I can't believe the career this man had.
Yeah.
And when he showed up as the disciple,
oh my god!
I had no idea
that was. I've never seen anybody in wrestling. Okay, and I'd love give me another person. September 95, that was the debut of Nitro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it really, to me, the war didn't pick up till 96, right? That was when it got hyped up. Has there ever been anybody else in professional wrestling that in a short period of time, maybe a year or two, was transformed into a whole different human being that does not even resemble the other one in any possible way? Has that happened to anybody else?
Ooh. That's an interesting... Does the Shockmaster count? That's a very interesting question.
No, because he had a helmet on, and he takes the helmet off, and you know that it's still Uncle Fred.
Repo
you know
Man?
What? Here's one. Barry Darsow. Barry Darsow is the Repo Man. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's a really good one, because I would not believe that those are the two same people.
Yeah, it's... Because I always think about the parallels between WCW and WWF, like when Goldust went over, he was Black Rain.
Black Rain. No. He was that was
TNA. Yeah,
that was TNA. He was like Seven? A Powder character. He was like Powder, and he would lurk in the boys' window.
But it was kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. It was still him. I mean, with makeup on.
X-Pac and Six, very similar. Similar. Macho Man, very similar. Hogan, very similar.
Crowbar. Large 23 said Crowbar.
Okay, Adam Bomb. But same, right?
Same guy though. Still look the same. I don't think it's ever happened. You know what I would say could be Superstar Billy Graham from the Karate Man that showed up in the late 70s, early 80s to like Superstar Billy Graham of the 70s.
Okay.
Right?
Give you a current one?
Yeah, give me a current one.
Current one. Dexter Loomis.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Because he totally changed when he did that Wyatt Six character.
Yeah. That's a good one. We got a quick super chat here from Batcher 3000. Happy Friday, my bumpy faces.
Oh, hello, my baby. Let's see. All right, let's go into what else is going on here.
Let's jump into it. So apparently Jeff Cobb is leaving New Japan.
So is everybody else.
Yeah, he vacated the tag titles and will have his last match against Tanahashi on April 19th. Where do you think Jeff Cobb ends up?
Oh, WWE. He's headed there.
Okay.
They already have stuff planned out.
NXT or main roster?
I think he's a main roster guy. He's 30. He's not that young. He's in his mid 30s. Or is he in his mid 30s? I think he is. Yeah. Very talented. Good look.
Yeah. Great moveset.
Great moveset. A lot of people are surprised that he went in this direction. Huh?
Yeah.
What?
And he fits in with the Samoans.
Does he? Is he Samoan?
I think he's Hawaiian, but yeah, it's an island thing. I'm sure they'll...
Let's see. What is he?
He's a Polynesian fella.
Actually, guys, he's Greek.
Is he really?
No, he's not.
Yorgos Koberkos.
Yeah, his name is Yorgos Koberkos.
Fantastic.
He's Greek, dude. Come on, you're just profiling him.
Oh, when he does the finisher, what is it from the islands? It's Crete.
Yeah, from the Isle of Crete. That's where he's built from. Yeah.
Do you think somebody from WWE is listening to this and then they're like, "Oh, we liked your original pitch of calling him Jefferton Cobberton"?
Jefferton Cobberton. You know what? That would be a great name for him. He's from Guam, by the way.
Okay.
His nationality is Guamian.
You know, you know who I want him to face off with immediately once the guy gets better.
I know exactly. Bronson Reed. Yeah,
Bronson Reed. Just two
match.
smashing into each other.
Yeah, he's I love this. I think he's a great talent. I think it's great that they're opening up the door to a lot of these independent guys. You know, do you remember the conversation a couple years ago about how their entire thing was we're no longer going after indie guys, and now we're going after, I mean, in the recent history, right? Because they go back and forth. They wanted all the NIL guys, and then I think somebody at TKO was probably like, "Hey, listen, that's a great idea to get these, you know, super athletes to start training them, but you know, there are guys with brand recognition."
Oh yeah,
Samoa Joe is one of those names that this guy showed up. They gave him no credit for anything, and they sold out on those shirts.
Oh, immediately, yeah.
Remember when he showed up in NXT, and I think it was like a rev split they did on those shirts. I think it was like, hey, you got portion and I got a portion. I think it's good for him. I think he's very talented. I think he's just another great addition to the roster. I guess whatever he wasn't happy with AEW, he was using AEW a bunch. He was there.
Yeah.
But, and you know, this goes to show you some of the, let's see what WWE could do with him. Because he's another great example of, for WWE PR, right? Which, by the way, they're not having the best PR week. I don't even know if I want to go near any of that, but maybe we will. He went to AEW and he did not much.
Yeah.
And then he goes to WWE and he becomes this big star. What a good, you know, positive face-forward message that is to wrestlers that are considering moving or going somewhere.
Speaking of which, also Mariah May is believed to be headed to WWE when her AEW contract expires this summer. That's another one, you know, that I'm sure they'll give her the world, and whatever presentation that she used to have will be that much bigger.
She always wanted to go there. I mean, that was a big that was known to everybody. So she had a great program with Tony Storm. Just she wants bigger, and WWE can give that to her. And you know what? She is right up their alley, man.
Absolutely.
She is right up their alley. Here's the big one. Naito. Tetsuya Naito is leaving New Japan. They couldn't come to terms on a contract extension. He wanted more money, and they didn't want to give it to him. His last match will be night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku on May 4th. Where does he go? I don't know. He goes anywhere. I don't know. Maybe he just takes some time off and heals, and then maybe he does some sporadic New Japan stuff. He's so banged up, that guy. I mean, this is not the same Naito from 2016, 2017 at all. Yeah. That's a very long time ago. This is not even the same Naito from 2019. This is not the same Naito from, 2021. His knees are shot. His body is banged up. This guy really, just where would he go?
Yeah, I think he needs a break for sure.
Wasn't the rumor that AEW wasn't interested?
Well, I don't. Listen, how interested could you be in a guy that really you don't know what his health status is? And I don't think that's like an insult, like, oh, we're not interested in Naito. I think it's more like, hey, listen, we're looking at, listen, they had Ibushi, right? And what happened with Ibushi? He came back. He was not in just a very different Ibushi.
Well, look at everybody that they scooped up, right? Immediately almost plagued with injuries, right?
Yeah,
because everybody was banged up a few years ago. Like, you were missing Danielson, you were missing Cole, you were missing Kenny. Like a lot of these guys with that road wear on them. And I think Naito is a good example too. Like, let him rest. I'm sure he'll come back at some point in a big way somewhere.
Yeah, take some time off. He's done great with them. I don't see this as a super negative, and I don't see this as him disappearing from there. There was another debut this week, which caught a lot of people off guard. We had spoken about this on the show. Josh Alexander debuted for AEW after leaving TNA. He made his decision. We were kind of told that he was going there, but he had a great showing, great match with Hangman Page. I generally don't like people losing on their debuts, but this didn't hurt him in my eyes.
I feel like with Hangman, and if I was trying to tell the group chat the other night, if the fates align for Hangman, he should be the face of that company. You know, that guy is so fantastic, and they both made each other look like $1 million, you know? And I think for the audience that didn't know who Josh Alexander was, they want to see more of him.
Yeah. No, I and they did a great job on commentary, and it's one of the first times like they explain like why he wears the headgear.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he had really bad cauliflower ear, so he wears that protective headgear for like, and you know, to us, right? We know what that headgear is.
Right.
But to a large portion of the audience, they have no clue why he's wearing that.
It does look cool on him too.
It does look cool on him. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the headgear.
Same here. Let's take a quick super chat that's kind of pertinent to what we're talking about. Since there's no contract tampering, is WWE just going to let any AEW talent they want know on the DL that will sign you when your contract is up?
They've been doing that for a very long time through channels.
Yeah,
like since the beginning of AEW that has happened. Like that's not that bidding war of 2024 thing for MJF was not a farce. That was legitimately people in WWE were asking me if I know anything about, you know, his contract status or anything. Nobody reached out to him, I don't think, personally, like, hey, come to us. But people were curious because he's such a hot commodity in that company. They do this with everybody. I mean, this is like a common thing. You get interested in somebody, and then maybe someone that knows him asks him what he thinks about, you know, the future of himself and that company, and then they figure it out from there. I don't think it's like contract meddling is like, oh, leave, and I'll figure out a way you get out of the contract. Yeah. But everybody does this. People that have gone over from WWE to AEW, same conversations have happened. This is like a very normal thing. I think a lot of people are going to want to jump ship, but it really for both sides. But it really depends on how hot your product is right now. I think right now, being in that WWE bandwagon, everybody's making good money, and nobody's considering jumping ship. But in 2 years, if things change, who knows? You
never know. Also, you know, when you're depending on who you are in WWE, you can write your own ticket wherever you want to go. Like, imagine, let's say something crazy happens and Roman Reigns decides to leave the company.
Yeah.
And it would be a no-brainer for him to headline anywhere in the world, right? And make the money that he deserves to make.
He would be, we talk about like who would be the factor, like makes a pivotal shift. I think Roman would be that factor. If Roman, for whatever reason, left WWE and went to AEW, which I can't see happening. But listen, stranger things have happened in wrestling, right? Nobody ever thought Hulk Hogan would go to WCW, but he did. That would be a pivotal moment in a shift. But you know, these guys are tremendous. They're getting paid so much money in that company. I don't think they're considering leaving. They're so well accommodated for everything now.
They're all very well taken care of.
Yeah, there's no more house shows.
Yeah.
You know, Roman's not doing like 300 matches a year.
No.
He's doing like 50. No, not even 50.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. That makes me very happy about like the state of wrestlers' health, you know. Yeah. Speaking of which, Big E confirmed during a live session at WWE World that Rusev told him he's on his way back to the company.
Yeah. That was a bad experiment. Everything about that AEW run was negative. You know, it did not start well, and it didn't end well. I mean, his last match was great with and both those guys are gone with Andrade. I mean, that was a fantastic match. We got to see it at World's End, but just didn't work out for many reasons.
Yeah, we can talk about that oddball run he had for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, he was TNT champion. That was cool, but other than that, there was nothing else.
It didn't hit the notes that I think. You know what? Because we're spoilers wrestling fans, and when I think of Rusev, I immediately think of the Tank. You know, and just like how he was positioned as like this unstoppable big brute.
Yeah,
and then the cuck angle ruined it. I mean, like, listen,
the cuckolding angle definitely ruined it.
Anybody, if that happens to anybody, of course they're going to be like, what if I turn into a video game guy?
Well, not only did it happen once, it happened with two people, right? Because wasn't she in a relationship? Wasn't Lana in a relationship with Lana was in a relationship with Liv, right? That was the story initially.
That was yeah.
Okay.
And then Bobby Lashley.
And then Bobby Lashley also. It's so stupid. So stupid.
And they tried to entwine them all, and it got messy.
Oh
and
my
weird.
God. Yeah, that was right before the pandemic. That was right before. That's where that company was headed. And then people are curious why AEW did so well and why so many people tuned into that. Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Did a feature story on stupid, sexy Roman Reigns.
Great photo shoot.
Great. Oh, man. That guy's a stud, dude. Great. Yeah. He's a fucking stud. Yeah, he revealed that he only has one more year left on his WWE contract. The deal's set to expire WrestleMania 42 in 2026. He said, after I finish the contract that I'm in, we probably got another year or two max. Then it's time to take a less physical form of entertainment. Then it's time to take on a less physical form of entertainment. I mean, listen, this is negotiation tactics always.
Yeah.
You know.
This is Hogan going away to do Mr.
Thunder in Paradise. Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah, this is it's all negotiation. He also had thoughts on the Janelle Grant lawsuit with Vince. Roman says that the allegations from Grant are a stain on WWE. She got to live with all those situations that happen, and hopefully she's in a place where she feels comfortable and she's secure in her own place. He says of Grant, it's embarrassing. That's stuff you don't want to hear about. You don't want your family to hear about it. Anoa says McMahon reached out last year to wish him a happy birthday, but the former CEO and chairman has, by all accounts, completely removed himself from WWE affairs. He made a couple comments about the only choice to vote for president. For him, it was clear. A lot of people losing their minds. Listen, I no matter what I say, people are going to be pissed off, but I don't give a fuck who we voted for. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Half the country voted one way. The other half voted another way. We got 4 years. You know what? This is the system. This is how it is. So I don't want to hear any politics with wrestling. I don't want to hear them talk about it. I don't want to hear them talk about who they voted for. Listen, certain issues, very important, right?
Yes.
And you could talk about it, but I don't want this to become a thing. I don't want this to now become a thing where everybody's now,
There's a reason why we watch wrestling is to get away from all that kind of stuff.
I don't care about Joe and Noah. Okay? I want to talk about Roman Reigns. I never talk about their personal lives. This is something that we've done on the show. I don't talk about dating. I don't talk about divorces.
Unless somebody's trying to date your daughter.
You want to date my daughter? But I have no problem talking about stupid, sexy Roman Reigns being, a heartthrob now.
Being an absolute unit.
Dude, he's fucking ridiculous, dude. This guy, he is the perfect sexy boy that Vince always wanted.
You know what? You're the great head of hair, Polynesian.
Great head of hair, great beard, beautiful tan, big, beautiful body, oily. I mean, how is he not perfect?
He was Vince's wet dream come to life.
He really was. Listen, it's fucking, what do you want? He's a fucking millionaire. The dude is a millionaire. Millionaire.
Exactly.
I can't wait till that episode of Stephanie's show where he's on it. You've seen his yacht, right?
Your Roman's yacht? No, I haven't.
Freaking Bond yacht.
I have not seen Roman's yacht.
Wow. Good for him, man. Would you ever own a yacht, Andrew?
Would I ever own a yacht? Yeah, and I would dress like I'm a Greek captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a yacht.
Would you take up smoking Parliament Lights?
That was my I love Parliament Lights when I smoked.
Yeah.
I love a Parliament Light. I love a you know what my first cigarette was?
What?
Newport.
Really?
The Queen's Classic.
That's everybody's.
Newport. Newport was my first cigarette.
My first cigarette was a Marlboro. I smoked Marlboro Reds for quite some time.
And they're trying to take menthol. Marlboro Reds. Everybody went to Marlboro Reds when they were like 18.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, okay, now I'm smoking a real cigarette and killing myself.
I'm a man
now. And dude, one day I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Cigarettes were like $7 a pack. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not even enjoying this anymore. And I just stopped. I never smoked.
Except
if I'm in Vegas, then I'm a very bad boy.
Yeah, I have not bought cigarettes since 2013, right?
Yeah.
At that time, I think the pack was like $12 or $13. When I started smoking, I was like 17, 18, and the packs were $3.75.
$3.75 a pack, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was fantastic. And then I think towards me quitting, they were like $13. I took a note at the gas station the other day. I was like, $19 for a pack of cigarettes?
Crazy.
That's absolutely nuts.
Crazy. Unbelievable. Where are we? Yeah, so Roman did an interview. Oh, CM Punk did an interview too, and I thought his was interesting also. He stood on the other side, which is great. That's the country. That's balance. John Cena once again did his open love letter towards Vince McMahon.
Said he loved him. Yeah, I saw that.
He said he loved him. Listen, we live in a world of public relation statements.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
exactly.
that's because immediately once you say something like that, there is no time for explanation on what you're trying to say. And there's no time to listen because now it's a public relations nightmare because everybody wants the proper quote to go out. He's putting a conflicted message. I hate the fact that this happened. I hate the fact that he did this, but this man gave me, and listen, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. There's no fucking opinion from me on this, okay? But he's expressing his true feeling.
Right.
He said what he said. And he said it multiple times. But this is a guy that essentially raised him. He was 20
in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah. You're on the road with this man for 200 something days a year. He's the patriarch of the company.
But I think a lot of those guys have that sentiment where it was like, oh, he was very like Shawn. Look at Shawn. Like Vince, for all intents and purposes, could be Shawn Michaels' dad.
Yeah.
And like a lot of those guys who, and it's not even that they had bad family lives. I think it's just like, you're around this, like you said, the patriarch of the company, you're around this guy 24/7 and he's got an input and influence in your life. The biggest influence in your life. The
biggest influence in the most important decision maker in your life.
Right. Which is insane to think about.
It creates a very unique relationship. I mean, good and bad. And you've heard this from every top star in that company. Steve Austin, Bret Hart, everybody. Shawn. Yeah. This guy was like my dad. So
and it's even wilder to hear like Bret say stuff like that, to have those sentiments.
Yeah, because think about it. I mean, that man ruined his life.
Yeah.
If you really look at all accounts of it, he locked him up to this deal and then reneged on it and then screwed him in the end. And because of creative decisions that were made, his brother, dies tragically.
Really wild. Yeah.
And the entire spiral happens. So, I can't get in people's heads, but very interesting stuff. AEW, something we broke here. We were the ones that broke this on Beyond the Bell. AEW has announced a 4-hour summer blockbuster show. The show will be from Portland, Oregon on Wednesday, June 11th. This will happen during the Stanley Cup Finals. They're doing a 4-hour special. Won't be the only one.
It's going to be Dynamite and Collision back to back.
Back to back. Yeah, back to back. Yeah. Won't be the only one. They're going to do one more of these, I believe. I think there's two of them. Interesting stuff, dude. Okay, they're playing with this format a little bit, and before my gout, actually, what probably led to my gout, I'm gonna tell you, I blame WBD for my gout.
Okay, why?
I was a very bad boy with some of these dudes, and I overindulged heavily for a couple days.
Yeah,
those goddamn oysters.
Tis.
The oysters, this shit.
No, not that. No. Sean blew his fucking nose once on the air, and Sean is like a squeaky clean boy.
Yes,
you look at him, you're like, this boy is clean. Mm-hmm. You make that joke about me, they're like, of course.
That's one of my favorite jokes, though, for anybody.
A little this, a little this, a little this, a little
My,
this.
my brother's in town next week for a conference, and my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, are you going to meet your brother?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "What are you guys going to do?" And I was like, "Oh, a bunch of this."
Well, you know what you did, dude? One time, I forgot it was something for wrestling. Like we were at something, and somebody asked you something about me, and you're like, "Oh yeah, Andrew, really into this." And
that's my other favorite
guy, and that's the other one. And that other guy was mortified, and I had to run across the bar. I'm like, he's just kidding.
Terrifying. Because I was like, he knows I'm kidding, and you were like, I don't think he does.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows you're kidding. Where was I? Lost it. Okay. AEW Grand Slam. We're going into WrestleMania. I just want to get through all the stuff. And Rich and I have not done a show in a couple of weeks, and I know you guys. Yeah. This show has become wrestling adjacent. We talk about a lot of stuff.
We also don't do cocaine.
We also do not do cocaine. I'm not a prude, okay?
No.
Do whatever the hell you're doing. I don't care.
You can do your cocaine.
You can do your cocaine. Yeah. I would be afraid now to do it.
Oh, same here.
Because I'm an old man. You know, my father one time told me, like, we used to go skiing all the time. I mean, talking about cocaine. Like, really skiing. Legitimate skiing. Not cocaine skiing. My father and I did not do cocaine together in the Poconos.
We ate taquitos.
But we would go skiing.
Be specific.
And I would tell my father, I'm like, why aren't you coming up on the mountain? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? I break my shoulder. Always his shoulder, nothing else. Who the fuck is going to pay the bills? Like, I'm the same way about that stuff now. I'm like, cocaine at 41? I'm like, I don't know where you got this shit.
Your heart's going to explode.
Fucking that fentanyl. That's what it is.
But you know what? I feel like we also didn't grow up like that. And we weren't.
It wasn't. Now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, there was always like, and remember, like, think back to like junior high and high school. There was always one or two guys that were like the drug guys.
Nobody did coke though.
Who would try everything and still be alive.
I did salvia. Okay, I mean, listen, I've done a lot of stuff, but this is one of the worst experiences. I did salvia senior year of high school. Okay, I was with these like hippie kids in a van.
Okay,
I thought I was smoking pot. It was salvia, and I got to class. And I proceeded to lose my mind during that class. And it was terrible because you know what that class was?
What class was it?
Holocaust literature.
Oh, no. So you were on Planet X.
I was somewhere I did not want to be. It was not fun. And that's the only time I did salvia.
You scared yourself straight?
I scared. I mean, I consumed a lot of alcohol and pot and other things throughout my years. But nobody did that. Nobody did cocaine. It was mostly like somebody stole their mom's Xannies.
Yeah.
Paint bills weren't even paint bills happened later, but it wasn't even a thing then. We're the last of that generation. College
was very much pills.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me though, but like, you know, like it was always like Molly and shit like that. Anyway, AEW Grand Slam Mexico announced for Arena Mexico in conjunction with CMLL.
Yo, that is awesome. I am so excited for that. It's a great venue, and it is around the Forbidden Door time too. Yeah. But it's not Forbidden Door. I mean, because they're going to UK for that. But I think this is great. I think this is a beautiful venue. I think the crossover with CMLL will be great for them. I think it'll be a really fun show.
Yeah. Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 at Arena Mexico in Mexico City. Tickets go on sale on April 26th if you are thinking of crossing the border and headed to that show.
Do you know what is getting pre-ordered on the 24th?
I believe you told me. Why don't you tell everybody?
The Nintendo Switch, too.
Love it. I can't wait for it. Are you gonna pick one up?
Yeah, I gotta get it for the kids.
Yeah. What a fantastic system.
Yeah.
Listen, for the kids.
Take my money, Nintendo.
Yeah, take my money, Nintendo. WrestleMania weekend is here. It is the busiest time in the world of professional wrestling. It's an interesting time for it because it's on Easter weekend. Yeah. And this is as of Wednesday. I don't have the current one, but as of Wednesday, night one, this is according to WrestleTix, which I have to tell you, this man has done God's work for anybody that covers professional wrestling, anybody that is addicted to numbers like this. I always tell people I don't get any money from this. I pay for my Patreon with WrestleTix. And I would recommend this if anybody's interested. Follow him, subscribe to him, pay him, because this is a lot of work he puts in. Night one has 3,000 tickets available, 51,000 tickets distributed. It's currently set up for almost 54,500. There's 184 combo tickets. Lower number, right? 51,000. For night 2, they've distributed 53,000, so a little bit more. They'll move some more here and there. There'll be a lot of people picking up last minute tickets. But the story here with this is that, it's on Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Vegas made a big freaking mistake by jacking up all the rates for everything.
Right.
Early on, and this is the same mistake. And I work with Rich knows I know people in Vegas in nightlife. I know people in the hospitality business in Vegas, and this is exactly what they did with F1, where they got F1, they jacked up all the prices. Nobody showed up because it was a weird weekend, and it was a failure. Not that this is going to be a failure in any possible way, but I think this was overprojection by Las Vegas.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Check. Yeah.
The other interesting thing is ticket distributed versus tickets sold to the public, because the casinos, I was told a number of casino purchases here, and it was very high. It was a high casino purchase because what they do, they buy the tickets and then give it out to their, high rollers or clients or whatever. The hosts give it out. And if they don't get it, they offload them on StubHub. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those tickets got offloaded that brought the price way down for the secondary market. That secondary market pricing was through the freaking roof 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now it's plummeted. So are there last minute offers? Great. A lot of people will go there. Still be a great show. Over 50,000 in the building. It'll be fine. But, maybe not running it Easter weekend.
Yeah, so let's take a comment from the chat here. From Balor Club Guy, friend of the show, Balor Club Guy. I bought my tickets for Mania night 1 last night on Ticketmaster. Got 2 lower level seats, center with ring, for $350 each with fees. And he's gonna wait to get night 2 tickets because he does the waiting game. He'll wait till the last minute, and he'll get a good price on tickets. Which I think, you know what? Seeing as what happened with the pricing trajectory of Vegas, probably the smartest thing to do. If you can catch a flight and head out there, you'll probably get a good seat for not $1 million.
Like the Fountain Blue. The Fountain Blue is a very beautiful higher end hotel. Their ticket, they're back to normal rate pricing, like normal seasonal rate pricing.
Yeah.
They and it was jacked up initially when they announced that they were going there. I mean, those tickets were going for like those hotel stay, standard king size, nice room. It was $800.
Yeah.
Normally that's what it's jacked up to. Now you're back in the 2s to 5s,
which is normal price.
Which is normal price for that hotel. Mm-hmm. The Vegas structure I know very well. I as far as Vegas is going to look at this is not going to be a success, no matter what they say. Because not so much for WrestleMania, but for the business that it brought due to projections, not what they're going to show. Are they going to show a tremendous profit for Las Vegas for Easter weekend? Yes, because you got 50,000 people to show up.
Right.
To spend money and to eat and to drink and to get hotel rooms. But it was not the projected number that they had hoped. Considering who was the headliner of WrestleMania main event, of the main event a year ago. It was going to be The Rock.
Right.
I'm just going based on chatter I've heard.
Yeah.
So you can fill in the blanks.
They'll always bust something out last minute, and to get that audio clip of that soundbite of like, and we broke the stadium record.
They're not going to be able to do that. But it's still going to be a fantastic show. Listen, this is not a negative dump on WWE at all. I think they made the right choice. They got paid a lot of money for this. I think it was a unique experiment. TKO thinks very differently than the Vince McMahon wrestling promoter. The money is going to be made, and they're going to have all these groundbreaking numbers, and it's probably going to be the most watched WrestleMania of all time. Last year, I think it was like 4 million people tuned in. Something around that number. I don't remember the exact number, actually. I think it was like, wasn't it like 4 million plus?
Something like that, right? MJ, you know better.
It sounds right. It sounds.
But again, how the hell do you know? Because those metrics are all over the place. We know that AEW number that's been floating around that people are so mad at me that I said that is not an accurate number. People, do you know? I got the most.
I don't understand that.
I got the most deranged DM from somebody saying like, I've listened to you for all these years and you've been so open and honest about AEW, but what changed? That's what they said to me. What changed here?
Wild.
Why are you saying that this number's not accurate? And I'm like, because it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's not accurate. That is not an accurate number. You can't tell me that almost your entire audience that tunes in on TV, there's another parallel audience that is tuning in on Max.
Right.
Almost the same. And you only have a ticket bump, for your shows by maybe 100 to 300 more people in the building. That doesn't work.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say anything anymore.
The math is not mathing.
Yeah.
The numbers never lie. You can't. There has to be another... when you look at the numbers, right? You look at the number that's provided, and then you got to compare it to, okay, how can I validate this number, right? If you saw a, 500 to 1,000 person boost immediately in ticket sales, right? Mm-hmm. Or you saw the online chatter, or your Google searches are higher, or your merch sales are higher. These all coincide with that number, and they're not. This is not that. There is no planet. I will say this: there's no planet that this is happening on. No matter what dimension you're in, you could be in a parallel universe where AEW is the hottest thing in the world. They're not getting 500,000 viewers on that Max show. Weekly, live, one day, maybe over 3 days, maybe over whatever. Maybe they're counting it wrong. It's not a reality.
You're gonna get a bunch of angry DMs now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the number that I was told is impressive. I mean, listen, the number, and I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to spread a rumor because I have no way of knowing this is accurate. The number I was told is an impressive number, but it's not 500,000 people every week.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wish it was. That's great for wrestling. I wish it was. All right, let's go. NXT Stand and Deliver, Saturday, 1 p.m. Ooh, it's a 1 p.m. show. Rich, I wish you and I could hang out and watch wrestling all weekend, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Can I let you know in the morning?
Yes, I will. Okay. I have to drive out to Princeton for a gig tomorrow. So on the way back, if you're down to hang, I will definitely stop by.
Isn't that such a beautiful campus?
Yes. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous town.
I think it's my first time. Might be my first time shooting there, but yeah.
Nice.
But on the way back, I'll give you a heads up and just maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah. You want to run down this card?
Yeah, let's do it. NXT Stand and Deliver card, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Hold on. What does it say? Talent has a 5 a.m. call time?
Ooh. Yeah, because it's a 10 a.m. show.
Oh, my
it's 10 a.m. there.
Oh, my
and there
God,
was worries
right.
There was worries that it was going to be a 3 a.m. call time.
No, that's insane.
So 5 a.m. call time. The show is 1 p.m. Eastern. So this takes place at 11? Is it 2 hours or 3 hours behind?
10 o'clock.
It's 1 a.m. It's 1 p.m. Eastern.
Right. But are they 2 hours or 3 hours behind?
3 hours.
They're 3 hours. Okay, so 10 a.m. in Vegas, 5 a.m. call time. NXT champion Obafemi defends against Trick Williams and Javon Evans in a triple threat. That's going to be good. Women's champion Stephanie Vaquer defends against Jada Parker, Jordan Grace, and Julia in a four-way. Ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. Saul Ruka versus Izzy Dame versus Kalani Jordan versus Zaria versus Turnbuckle Danielle and Turnbuckle Danielle.
We know them now. I didn't put them in.
Who are they?
I will look it up. I'm sorry. I should know this.
NXT. God forbid we were in the Navy and this is World War II and we're on a fucking battleship and we're on a battleship and Mr. Gonzo is in charge of something on that ship.
It's over, dude.
I'd have to jump off. I'd have to swim somewhere. NXT North American Champion Ricky Starks defends against TBD. Do you know who this is, MG?
God, I did these so long ago.
Oh my God.
NXT Tag Team
Championship. It's not even Ricky Starks. It's Ricky Saints, but it's
Ricky Saints.
Oh, another AEW guy. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh my God, dude!
Are the torpedoes working, MG?
What do you? It's Ethan Page, dude. It's Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it is. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get out.
And what was the other match that he had no idea about?
The women's ladder match.
Yeah, it's Zaria, it's Kalani Jordan, it's Sol Ruka, Izzy Dame, Lola Vice, and Thea Hale.
Great.
There you go.
And who's Nathan Frazier and Axiom defending against? The NXT Tag Champions.
It's Hank Walker and Tank Ledger.
Great.
Hank and Tank. Okay, maybe I should have updated those. My bad.
This has
Sorry.
been updated for weeks. 6 months we've known the card here.
Well, no, okay. Full disclosure, I did these before Tuesday, and then we ended up not doing a show because of things, and so my bad.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. This will be a fun afternoon show. Shawn Michaels also commented on why so many multi-person matches. He said these young men and women work throughout the entire year. They wanted them all on the show. That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple explanation. Tonight for SmackDown, you have John Cena and Cody appearing. You'll also have the Giant, the Andre Royal Battle Memorial of Giants. WWE Tag Team Champions Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns. Chelsea Green, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven against Zelina Vega, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. You have the Hall of Fame also.
Say one thing
go ahead. Yeah.
Say, how sad is it that Nakamura is going to be in this Battle Royal? Probably, like one of the
in the Giant one. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because he's not on the card, so he'll probably be there. Everybody wants to be there, dude. It's a busy weekend. It's a fun weekend, dude. Last night, before we go into predictions, right, for Mania, last night, that Bloodsport! Holy moly!
Yeah.
I have it down at the bottom if you want to skip.
You want to go into it real quick?
Yeah. Let's go into it because this is right. This is right up my 1980s alley, right?
Oh, 100%.
We grew up watching those movies. Josh Barnett has done a tremendous job at he revived catch wrestling.
Yep.
Worked catch wrestling. He freaking revived it in like the now, which is nuts.
Yeah.
You know, if you really think about it, and it's really become like a uniter of all these people.
Which is really cool, you know, because you have some like real legit people on these cards, and Gabe Kidd defeating Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
Right? Zack Sabre Jr. beating Gresham. Shayna Baszler defeating Konami. Tavion Heights beat Royce Isaacs. Natty.
Yeah.
Natty. Interesting.
Defeated Miyu Yamashita via submission.
Did you hear what she came out to? Did you hear her?
No.
She came out to a remix of the Heart Foundation theme and Killing in the Name of.
That's really cool.
It was really awesome. She looked great. First of all, Natty looks incredible. Okay.
Yeah. She really does.
And it's amazing because this is somebody that has wrestled her entire life. Mm-hmm. And when she went to WWE, she was going to be, remember, she was like that. There was so much hype with her.
Yeah.
To come in. And they told her, you wrestle like a dude. Stop wrestling like a dude.
Right.
Can you believe that?
It really insane. And then they gave her a fart gimmick.
And they gave her a fart gimmick.
She became a cat lady. Yep.
Yeah, she became a cat, but that's her own doing. She became Maureen Ponderosa on her own.
Yeah. Natty Neidhart defeated Miyu Yamashita via submission. Pete Dunne defeated Timothy Thatcher via submission.
Very good match.
Karrion Kross defeated Kratos via submission.
Great stuff.
Great. Charlie Dempsey defeated Shinya Aoki TKO. Micah defeated Carmen Petrovic submission, and Layla Hirsch defeated Jordan Blade with a TKO in 3 minutes.
So into this.
These are all quick. These are all quick matches.
Fun. This is what wrestling is.
Yeah.
That is the wrestling I want to go in a smaller building and I want to watch unique stuff like this. That is the wrestling I like. Okay.
Oh, talk
WWE.
I get it.
5-1.
What is it?
I said WWE won 5-1.
5-1 WWE. Of course they won.
Let's talk real quick about Dynamite in the regard of that is a wonderful building that they were in.
Dude, that was beautiful in Boston. That was a stunning building. We had friends over there. A lot of people.
Great building. You want to jump into this WrestleMania card?
Yeah, let's do it.
We also have the Hall of Fame ceremony at some point
tonight.
Tonight, what time is it?
At 1 o'clock, 1 a.m.
Oh yeah.
If you really want to stay up for it.
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks.
Rey Mysterio
that
versus
sounds
El
like
Grande.
Background. Sounds like that'll be background for the morning, for me at least.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it on while I'm getting up tomorrow.
It takes you 4 hours to get up.
Yeah.
It does.
He has to reattach all of his parts, dude. He has to put everything back on.
Sew himself back together.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Rey Mysterio, right?
Can you picture him just like sewing his arms back on every day? He's like a Jack Skellington character. Dude, you know what? You know what?
You
You
are
are 100% were created by Tim Burton. There's no fucking question. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Look, his seams are coming out of his neck. You could see. Tim Burton made him.
My new creation, Mr. Gonzo.
My new creation, yeah.
It's full of stuffing. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Who takes this?
You know what? I think Ray, but I'm curious. I like the gimmick. I like the El Grande Americano because people are getting pissed off.
You know he's gonna come out to like it's gonna be a big entrance for both of them.
You know what? You want heat? Have Hogan come out waving the flag with him.
Oh my god, as Mr. America.
As Mr. America, yeah. El Grande Americano and Mr. America. Why? You know what? Freaking great. Hulk Hogan's not here.
Yeah, well, I think there's a reason for that. Naomi versus Jade Cargill.
Oh, by the way, I got you a present. I got the beer.
I
got the beer.
I got the beer.
So I went to Press called me. John from Press called me. He's like, dude, you want some? It's in. I'm like, yeah, why? It'll be fun for like the parties and stuff that we have. I'm like, and I wanted to try it. I was like, I'll buy 4 cases. I bought 4 like pallets.
Jesus.
Wild
pallets.
I wanted 4 like cases, like a 6-pack. I ended up buying 4 like cases.
How many of those beers are we gonna throw at that young girl that lives on your garage roof?
That lives on my garage? Oh my god, that's 100% happening. 100%.
Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Does Jade finish the story?
Jade has to win, yeah.
New Day versus the War Raiders. I think New Day takes it. I think New Day walks out as heel tag team champs.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, might as well give them the title again.
Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight.
At all.
Is Big E going to get involved? I don't know.
He goes heel with them? That would be cool. Jacob Fatu defends against... I'm sorry. LA Knight defends his United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu should take this.
100%. I agree with you.
Big time.
Yeah.
WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton defends against Charlotte Flair. Does this... What is this? What would this be? 17 for Charlotte?
No.
25?
38.
15?
How many titles does Charlotte Flair have? Let's see. Charlotte has won 17 WWE championships, including Raw Women's Championship 6 times, SmackDown Championship 7 times, NXT Championship twice, and both women's tag titles and a Diva Championship once. So how do you measure this? So you would have to count the Diva Championship as 1.
Right.
So 14. She has it 14 times.
Yes, that's what I think. That's the number they're going with.
Is that the number that they're going with? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wild. So does Charlotte take it?
To this, by the way.
Does Charlotte take it? They want her to pass her father's record. Okay. So they've worked very hard at that. So this would be 15 for her. Yeah, I think she takes it. But that whole program has been weird. Very strange.
Like the shoot promos and very interesting. Let's see. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther defends against Jey Uso. I think this should open the show with Jey winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jey should win this in the opener.
Main event, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman versus Seth Rollins. I really think something nuts is going to happen here, and I really would love it if CM Punk took it. And listen, we haven't heard any chatter about this, but what if the favor was Brock Lesnar as the enforcer?
So I keep thinking, like, how does Brock fit in? Does he come back? I think if he is going to come back, this I don't know when they would do it, but I think we're getting closer to that moment. But what if the swerve? What if it's Paul Heyman sides with Seth Rollins?
That's what I was thinking too.
That would be pretty gnarly.
And Heyman says, like, "Oh, you wanted me to take out Roman. I did it. I did what you wanted me to do."
Mm-hmm. Does Roman still need Paul Heyman?
I like the pairing. I don't think he does, but I do like that they've been paired because Roman doesn't have to do everything.
Right.
You know, there was the Paul Heyman element has been great. I think him siding with Seth would be interesting, but does that turn, Roman and Punk together? I don't know.
That would be interesting. You kind of set it up where Paul Heyman is about to get the stomp and he gets saved by Roman and Punk, but then shenanigans happen. Seth comes out on top.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
I have a
I'm very curious how they do this because also, Punk wants the title, Roman wants the title, Seth wants the title. Punk and Roman has to happen on its own. That's a match we have not seen happen. So they're going to have to get to these things. Hunter's booking is very different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to predict. The Vince McMahon prediction.
That goes with my question.
Yes.
My question is, who's a babyface and who's a heel in this situation?
They're
I think
all
it fluctuates.
It doesn't matter.
Program,
they hate each other.
Everybody at that in the main event there, a night one has a valid point to why they hate each other.
Right.
And I think everybody's going to get cheered through the roof.
Because if you think about it, wasn't Paul Heyman the one that brought them in?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was the
kayfabe story, right?
That was the kayfabe story that Paul Heyman brought them in to help Punk out and
as enforcers or whatever.
Yeah, and then that whole thing got wacky, so we never got to see it fully play out. But there is a story there. I think that's going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to that night one main event. Fantastic night one main event.
Or listen, you want to hear some of my wacky wrestling booking?
Yeah, gimme.
Since Mox dropped those trio titles. What if the favor is Ambrose?
In your universe, I would love for that to happen.
In my universe, something happens where
there's no contracts in your universe.
There's no contracts in my universe. In my universe, the Shield reunite to take out CM Punk in the main event of WrestleMania.
That's great.
Or you could introduce. Imagine this. This could happen.
Yeah.
Match going crazy. Shield music hits. Somebody comes down from the crowd. People are going bananas. But is completely, when they used to do the riot masks?
Yeah.
Completely covered up, and then there's a reveal as to who that guy is.
It's the Miz. That's how you make a clunker.
Mm-hmm. That's the clunker of a main event. Anyway, anything could happen. I just get really excited about that kind of thing. Night 2, you ready?
Yeah.
Only 6 matches are listed. Is Randy possibly going up against Solo Sikoa?
That kind of makes sense. Solo makes sense
based on what they did last week. Assuming we'll find out tonight what that is.
Yeah, we'll find out for sure tonight. But a lot of people are speculating. Oh, could it be Rusev? Could it be somebody coming in? Could it be a mystery opponent? Solo makes a lot of sense. And then that way you have, and then you have the story. I mean, Nick Aldis, I would have loved, because that's such a unique match that we've never seen, and they both have like a similar big guy style. They're both gigantic.
Right. But it's got to be somebody that can take a WrestleMania RKO.
Yeah.
Because you need that
to be a WrestleMania RKO.
AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul's going to win.
You know what? This match looks really good. By the way, I have to tell you, Karrion Kross looks so freaking impressive.
Oh yeah.
Last week when he was in all the black pants, like I actually didn't even recognize him for a second, but he looks so impressive here. And he looked great last night.
Bloodsport, yeah.
Yeah, he looked great. AJ Logan Paul, this will be a great match.
I feel like they're gonna do the spot that Logan Paul did with Ricochet, where they both jump off the top rope into each other. Yeah. Sin City Street Fight: Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I'm going with Priest.
Did I tell you that thing?
No, you told me that thing.
Okay.
Damian Priest is also going to be hosting the only Slayer show in North America this coming year.
What?
Yeah. There's like a festival that Slayer is reuniting for, and he's
is he a Slayer fan?
Oh my! Clearly, he has called this out to heaven.
Yeah,
he's a huge Slayer fan.
He's a huge Slayer fan. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna give it to Priest on this one.
I'm gonna go with Drew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defend against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I think they retain.
They should. Liv is super hot right now, so I would keep it on her.
This is a match I'm very much looking forward to. I think we're all looking forward to it. WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker defends against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic. There's no wrong answer for who could win this.
I want all of them. All of them would be a great pick. I think Penta winning would help. I think Braun retaining would be great. Finn winning would be great, and Dominic winning would be tremendous heat. You put that title on a slimy heel.
Oh my God. I think it's about time.
That IC program, I mean, this is what an intercontinental title should be. This is what that entire division should be. Great up-and-coming, upper mid-card guys that are just people are into. People are into Braun. People are into Penta, Finn, Dominic. This is what that division should be. I'm glad that it's. You know what this reminds me of? The IC positioning in 1998.
Yep, 100%.
Right? You could tell every one of these guys could be a potential world champion at one point. In some capacity. You know, Penta's still new, but I've always said that guy has something very special. I don't know if it'll come out to a world champion, but definitely Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Dominic. Dominic will be world champion in that company.
100%. 100%.
There's no reason why he shouldn't be. You don't get natural heels like that people despise.
Oh my God, yeah. I think that's gonna turn on him a little bit when people realize what a sweet guy he is.
My daughter loves him, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Loves Dominic. Hates CM Punk, loves Dominic.
I can see that. Let's see. So who do you think is going to take this?
You know what? What if Dominic wins?
I'm going Dominic also.
Okay.
Women's World Champion Io Sky defends against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat. I think Bianca Belair takes it.
I'm going to go Rhea.
Okay. The main event, undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defends against John Cena. This could go a million different ways. What's your gut instinct? Who's taking this?
Lights go off.
Lights
come on. Vince McMahon kissing John Cena and saying, I love you.
I'm sorry, I love you, or just I love you?
Just I love you. Just I love you.
How much vomit would the arena have to sweep up after that?
You know what? I'm going to tell you, they would love it. They would all eat it up.
So who do you think takes it? What give me a scenario in which one of these guys wins.
I see this as being like the most wacky of endings.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to, unless, you know, again, it's a new way of booking. If we've seen what they do at WrestleMania main events, especially the last 2 years, it is just this wonky, lights go off, lights come on. Dwayne has to get involved here.
Dwayne has
Overbooked
to
to
get
the max.
involved.
Right? The Rock is going to show up. He'll do something. Steve Austin's there. Maybe he does the lights on, lights off, and he comes after The Rock. Bret Hart's there. Maybe he gets involved. You know, who's in Cody's side? It's going to be something. Does Cena win? That's the big question.
Does Cena win? Or do we get a double turn where Cody turns heel and retains the championship?
I don't think he wants to go heel. But
not yet, yeah.
And you know, that was the original, they wanted that, and they went in this direction. I think John winning, I'm intrigued by it. Like, I'm really curious about John Cena winning that title from Cody. Does Cody need to take some time off? Does he go away for a little bit? You know, I don't, he's been champion for over a year. I mean.
Well, how about this? You have The Rock getting involved, right? And he's giving Cody a mortifying beating like he did last year.
Okay.
Right? Cena goes, hey, man, I think that's enough. And then they get into it. Cody pins Cena. You set up Cena and Rock for something.
Here's my issue with that. You're taking the life out of this John Cena movement. Yeah. Because I actually, to be honest, I'm not interested in seeing a babyface John Cena as a world champion.
You want? I don't want to
see. I've seen it. I saw it for 20 years. I saw it forever. I want to see him as a heel because I want to see something a little bit different, and I also want to see those matchups because him and Punk happening, where John Cena's the heel and Punk is the babyface.
Oh my God,
never happened. Like that shift in character, or him and Randy, where he's the heel and not Randy. Yeah. You know, that changes the whole dynamic, and you're getting brand new matches because you wrestle differently when you're a heel. So, I want to see John win. I want to see what makes sense, and I want to see where this leads to. I'm very intrigued by that main event.
Same.
For just you know, it's going to be a great match. You know, those two are going to work very hard. John is very dedicated to this, and so is Cody. But the ending is what's going to matter. And that final shot of whatever's happening in that ring when they sign off is going to be the story of this entire 2-night event.
Because you need the follow through also. Like, what is the follow through for both these guys? Like, where do they go? I would love to see John Cena continue to be a heel. And I do want to see heel John Cena win. and that could happen. And it does not mean that Cody's story is over. It just means that the bad guy won, and he can get that title back.
The youngest teenager, Josh, the America's oldest frat boy, Josh Coleman, is messaging me, and he goes, new Star Wars show this year on Disney Plus. I wrote Star Wars sucks.
Did you tell him does he know how much you don't like Star Wars?
Yeah. Maul, Shadow Lord. Who's Maul?
Awesome. Darth Maul.
Oh, it's Darth Maul.
Yeah. From the planet Dathomir.
America's oldest frat boy.
Guys, get your questions ready. We're going to answer a bunch in a couple of minutes. I think this is going to be such a good show.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be fun. The whole weekend's going to be fun. MG, what other shows are coming on? What's the other big
Joey Janela's spring break is tonight, and the main event is the retirement match of Sabu versus Joey Janela in a hardcore death match. So however that will go.
What time is that?
I believe that starts at 8 tonight. 7
Oh, great. I'll put it on. I'll put it on the screen
10,
when the Mets are playing.
10 o'clock our time then. It's in 7 their time.
Is this like a I've hit my 40s officially where now all I do is watch baseball?
No.
Yep.
Do you know it's become a family event for us where every night the Mets are playing, we put it on, we watch the Mets, like the whole family.
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
It is the most calming thing for me. That's how I've been able to control my blood pressure. I'm not even kidding you.
You're just watching baseball?
I just put baseball on and I just relax.
Baseball is very soothing.
And then I do analysis. Like I tell my wife, I'm like, you see how Juan Soto is standing so wide? Like I'm doing deep down analysis. It's like I'm in the booth. I'm in the booth with Gary Cohen and Keith and Ron Darling. Okay?
You should dress up like you're doing a booth.
In the polo shirt that says SNY? They'll think I'm John Alba, dude. He's on SNY. I'm gonna go to work with him one day and wear a suit and just like sub in. No. I'm subbing in for Alba today.
Bring your Andrew to work day.
Bring your Andrew to work day.
Have you gone to a game this season yet or no?
No, I think I'm gonna go next week. I've been invited to a bunch. Dude, I can't even walk.
That's right. Yeah.
Who wants to see my disgusting toe?
Let's not do that. I'm editing.
You guys want to see my disgusting toe? It's
doing it.
It's got the gout.
If I'm gonna describe it, it looks like an orc from World of Warcraft, like their feet. That's what it looks like.
One normal foot, one orc foot.
One normal foot, one orc foot. It's so fucking painful. This is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
Wow.
It's totally debilitating.
That's crazy, dude. I hope you get better quick.
Maybe I'm dying. Who knows?
I mean, we're all slowly dying, aren't we?
Slowly. Get your questions ready. Submit them in the chat room. We will answer anything you ask.
Do you
anything you ask?
Anything you ask.
Quick?
AEW, yeah. I want to touch on this really quickly because I wanted to spend so much time on the best fucking AEW show possibly ever for TV. Congratulations to them. They passed Nitro, 289 episodes. It was a tremendous show. Friends, one of our very good friends was there. He sent us some secret pictures, which was nice.
Yeah, sneaky.
Sneaky. I heard he got nude with the Stanley Cup, and he took like just covering himself with the Stanley Cup.
Oh, I read that as nuked.
Oh, he got nuked. But this was great. This was a fantastic show. Mercedes and Athena tore the fucking house down. The crowd was into this match. For all the shit that was said about... They did, yeah. They got the Rock Hogan thing. For all the shit that was said about Mercedes Mone and her work, and how she was so WWE-ified when she went there, and her promos and her in-ring. It's baby steps sometimes. You got to relearn things. You got to change things, and she is incredible. Quite possibly the best female worker right now in North America.
Definitely up there.
Up there. I mean, arguably
up there.
I mean, I never put a number one, but in that top 3 or 4, for sure.
Yeah.
No knock against Athena either. And Athena is incredible. I saw her first match in WWE. It was
In
NXT
WWE proper?
Brooklyn. In
Okay.
NXT Brooklyn, she came out as Athena in a dark match. And they
Right.
billed her as Athena. And she was so impressive. When I saw her wrestle, I forgot who she wrestled on that show. I'm sure somebody will tell me. So impressive. That was the first time I ever saw her. And I'm glad that she's getting time on Dynamite. And she should be on Dynamite. She's incredible. Timeless Tony Storm was also shown in the balcony, so you could see that this is leading to Mercedes and Tony Storm. Hangman's interview was interrupted by the Young Bucks and Okada. This led to a hysterical moment where Okada was telling him to smile and called him a bitch. And then Hangman came, so I guess they're going back Hangman and Okada. I'm into that.
Can't wait.
Yes, please.
Can't wait.
Let's see what else happened here. I just want to skim right through this. The Hurt Syndicate defeated the Gates of Agony. MJF showed up with prostitutes.
He showed up with the Ho Train.
He showed up with the Ho Train, and then he offered him women and jewelry. Shelton accepted the gift.
Shelton was like,
Lashley
hell
did
yeah.
not. He did the and then he tweeted, "Sex work is work."
Who tweeted? Shelton or
MJF. Shelton should have tweeted it. Will Ospreay defeated Takeshita in another incredible match for the Owen Hart
Holy
Foundation. The Owen Hart Foundation tournament. The Ops defeated the Death Riders to win the AEW Trios title. I wish I could spend so much more time on this.
Which was nuts because it was Hobbs.
Which was Hobbs. Hobbs did it. Very good stuff. I thought this was incredible. I also loved Claudio losing his mind after the match with Adam Cole last night. I thought that was great. I thought two very good nights. But Dynamite was such a better show. I mean, that was an incredible show.
Yeah.
All right, questions, boys and girls. Submit your questions. You could ask us anything. We will do our best to answer them.
Let's see what we got here. This is from MCASP.
Yeah.
Thoughts on AEW going to Arena Mexico and Scotland or London? Also, 4-hour Dynamite in June. Take a victory laps, Arian.
The way I was told that 4-hour show, I did not believe it because the person that told me was under the influence heavily. And I was looking at him and I almost called the guy an idiot. I was like, what are you, stupid? 4 hours on a Wednesday? What are you, nuts?
Wow.
Boy, was I.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, dude. Arena Mexico, it's a beautiful venue. Awesome building. Scotland, London. They're touring. They're international.
What do we got here? We got a super chat from Kermac. When Cena sold his soul, it was shocking. But with the build, there has been no explanation to The Rock being involved. Will we get answers this weekend? Side note, my Pistons will upset your Knickerbockers. Knicks in 5, baby.
Knicks Pistons this
Knicks
Saturday.
in 5, baby. Yeah.
By the way, I love old school rivalries like that. I love it when it's a Knicks. It remind like a Pistons Knicks game is like, oh, okay, it's 1991.
Yeah, 100%.
Patrick Ewing is back.
Mm-hmm.
Marv Albert is calling the game.
Oh, dream.
John Starks is back, baby. John Starks Kia.
John Starks Kia. I have a great John Starks story. I have a great John Starks story that I
is this an After Dark story or is this...
It is an After Dark story. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to hear
John Starks story.
So Rock, what's the deal?
I would imagine they're not this. I would imagine they're going to tell that story this weekend. I can't. They have to. I mean, because really, he's right. Carmack, the great Carmack, is correct. They have not really explained much. Yeah. Like, it's one thing to turn heel, but what did he give you? How did he convince you to do this?
Exactly.
This is not a corporate, like, it's not the corporation where, like, he was on TV and he was like, yeah, this is my corporate pick. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
This is from Ten Ruza. It's been a rough, weird Mania week. Cena really sucks.
Now, is that like Cena sucks because or do you think that the whole thing has been terrible?
Yeah, you know what? With The Rock, when you factor in The Rock, Cena has to win, right?
If you factor in The Rock, yeah.
And then you get that thing where Cena has to face The Rock at some point, where he's like, "You didn't give me what
Twice
I
in a
wanted."
lifetime?
Twice in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? This is from Hassan. Do you guys think Toni Storm is losing her title at All In?
I think if Mercedes beats her, I think that would be
that would be the one.
That would
That'd
be
be
the
cool.
one. Yeah, that would be
cool. I agree with you. Jesse Razo, when do you guys have Aleister Malachi Black returning? SmackDown tonight, Mania, or the Raw or SmackDown after Mania?
I think you should do the Raw or SmackDown, after Mania. You know, and he's a great act too. I mean that's a $1 billion act.
Penta,
the entrance and the spookiness.
Penta wins the IC belt. Monday night, you get the coffin flop.
You know what? Who can you put in that spooky stable? Damian Priest, Aleister Black, Rhea Ripley. Who else is a spooky person there?
Well, the Wyatt Six. Are they?
No, but they're too
people,
spooky.
or are they like muck men?
No. They're muck men. I'm looking for like goth, spooky.
Okay.
Yeah, you put them together.
Yeah. Listen, Monday after Mania, have Aleister Black challenge the IC. Whoever wins the IC belt, great. Penta versus Aleister Black.
Oh
forget
man, so good.
Let's see what else we got here. What's up, guys? This is from Balor Club. What's up, guys? What match are you looking forward to the most at WrestleMania 41, and why? For me, it's seeing Cena's last Mania match in person. I gotta say, it's Cody Cena and then the Punk triple threat.
Can I tell you, I don't believe that he's retiring.
Who's Cena?
Yeah, I don't believe.
I think that's the heel turn.
I don't believe.
I agree with you.
I don't believe that this would be the last year that he will ever wrestle.
Okay.
I don't. Maybe from. I don't. Dude, it's wrestling. Why would you say I'm done at 46 or 47? What is he? 47?
He's like 50, dude.
No, he's like 46 years old. John Cena is 47 years old. Yeah, 47.
Okay.
He's turning 40. Oh, man, he's turning 48.
Yeah.
Wow.
One more year?
Listen, he's a guy that's extremely disciplined. He could come back at like 52 and have a one-off, or 55 and have a one. It's not what it was. Turning 40 is not your kiss of death anymore. There's so much stuff that these guys are doing with cryotherapy and listen, you don't think they're on gimmicks?
Right.
Everybody's on something, and it's legally prescribed, and it's totally controlled by a doctor, and it's not cheating. I never understood that. I'm not for people taking drugs that are going to hurt their health, and they're going to die early in any shape. But you're in the body business, you're in the looks business, and their modern medicine has exceeded everything that anabolic steroids could have done for you.
Did you see Eric Andre on Kimmel this past week?
I've been watching so much Eric Andre because I just got into Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, so fantastic!
Okay? I just finished season 2.
Great.
It is. Who do you think is my favorite character?
Jesse.
No.
Who's your favorite character?
Uncle Baby Billy.
Oh yeah, Baby Billy. Did you get up to Baby Billy Baba Bonkers?
I'm not there yet. No, I'm not about. But I do know about it. I bought. So my kids love that character because like all I've been doing is playing his songs.
Yeah.
There will come a payday.
Oh, what a great opening from the hotel.
What a great opening from the hotel. And my daughter goes, "Can you get me a Baby Billy shirt?" I was like, "Yeah." And I bought her a Baby Billy's Bible Bunker shirt. It's coming today.
So good.
That and the whole show is pro wrestling.
The whole show is pro wrestling. They do a lot of
And for people who don't know, John Goodman plays the father, right? He's the head of this mega church, and they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He was a wrestler when he was in his 20s. And the money he got to expand his church was that he killed the promoter, and he took his $3 million to invest into the church.
So wild.
Isn't that wild? It's a fantastic show. Baby Billy's my favorite, and Baby Billy's wife is incredible.
Oh my god! Is season 2 with the cousins? Or no? Or is that
no?
It's with Eric Andre. Right?
That's season 3. Eric Andre season 2. Yeah,
season 3 is wild. Anyway, Eric Andre on Kimmel this past week goes, "Hey, you look like you're in great shape. Are you sticking yourself with those Dwayne The Rock Johnson needles?"
That's what I've been doing, dude.
Hysterical. Let's see. We got a couple more here. This is from Mark B. Question: with Dave saying two companies can't both thrive historically, do you think AEW are only picking up momentum because people are questioning Hunter's WWE booking?
No, I don't think they're picking up momentum for that. I think they're picking up momentum because they're making positive choices. 2023 was a bad booking year for that company.
Still.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Please. It's still the alternative. There are so many people. When you go on X, there are so many people that fucking hate WWE, and it's an alternative. It's still a valid alternative.
Listen, you need a valid alternative, and it's a different presentation, and they're trying to do something a little different.
I got to tell you, the venue changes with the smaller
help.
intimate venues.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, they've seen a pop of about 100 to 300 people more in buildings that they normally would get, but also their creative has gotten better. The TV has gotten better.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody dips. Right? WWE's going to have a dip too, and WWE's dip is going to be big because right now they're doing 10,000 person buildings. What happens when it goes to 6,000? That's a significant dip. Will it go there? I don't know. I hope not. I want to see both companies do well. I don't root for one. It's wrestling that I root for. But these are ebbs and flows, and AEW, they've been around for 5 years, and they hit their dip. And now it's a reset, and then now they got to come back up, and they got to do something creative, and they got to get hot again. That's just how it works. WWE has been on a 5-year incline.
Oh, really nuts. Yeah.
I think that's magnificent. I don't... Can two companies coexist at a high level? Yeah, I think they can. I
think so.
I think so. I don't know where the, like, in what context this was from Dave, but I understand Dave's point also where... Listen, when one gets hot, especially when you're the juggernaut, when you're WWE, when you get really hot, that doesn't necessarily mean the whole business is going to get hot. But historically, that is what happened. When wrestling got really hot, everybody benefited, including ECW, including WCW, including WWE. Yep. So, 25 years ago is not a complete, comparison, perfect comparison, but it's the only metric that we have really for something like this.
Right. Yeah. And times are different too.
Nationally.
And entertainment is also very cyclical, but WWE did hit that next gear surprisingly 5 years ago, and it has been nonstop. And I think AEW is going to shift into another gear very soon too.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Randy Orton in a handicap match versus Legacy's Ted DiBiase Jr. and Manu. Book it.
Oh my God. To bring Legacy back?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Then you have...
Now, didn't Ted DiBiase Jr. get into some trouble?
I think so. Cody makes a save.
Yeah, like something like really bad, like financial stuff.
Financial something, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like was it embezzlement? Did he embezzle?
Embezzlement of some kind? Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Large 23. What's on the menu for WrestleMania?
Nothing for me because I have gout and I can't eat anything other than
starve.
I'm doing the starve diet. What are you doing?
I don't know. It depends on what I do. If I go to your place, I'll probably get some takeout.
Well, you're gonna have. Are you guys doing the goat and the lamb on Sunday?
Oh, Sunday I'm doing the triple. So I'm going to my folks. I'm going to Alex's, and then I'm going to Vicky's folks.
The whole neighborhood smells like roasted lamb and goat.
It's great.
It's actually incredible. Whenever it's Greek Easter, everybody's just. They take the whole thing and they just put it on a spit and they just put it over a grill and they just cook it for hours.
Yeah, Nas does it right.
Nas does do it right. Yeah,
because Nas
the rapper. Nas the rapper. Not the bartender. Yeah.
I think her dad does a full tent in the backyard.
Yeah, that's the way to do
with
it.
The pig and the lamb and everything. So it's cool stuff. I think we got a Wesley Willis in the chat room. Could you read all these, by the way?
Can I read them?
Yeah. Can you read them as Wesley Willis?
Where is this?
Underneath where Tenruza says it's been a rough, weird Mania week.
Wesley Willis, the musician?
Yes.
I don't know his voice.
All right, never mind.
Okay, sorry.
Never mind. It's okay. This is because you don't have the social up, right?
I don't have the social up now.
Yeah, that's why. All right. Do you think there's a market for Ring of Honor in 2025? They filled a void when WCW and ECW went away, but now AEW is here and other promotions streaming providing further content and options?
I think that definitely was a place a couple of years ago for Ring of Honor. I think it would have been a great developmental place for a lot of AEW talent that is not getting a lot of TV time. When they ended Elevation and the other one, what is it? Dark Elevation and Elevation? Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
Dark. I wish it was called Dark Elevation.
Was it Dark and Elevation?
Yeah.
When they replaced those, I thought it would have been a great opportunity to get some of those guys on Ring of Honor. I don't know. I don't know what the TV situation is. Nobody has ever once. I've never, ever, ever in all the conversation I've had, nobody's ever mentioned Ring of Honor to me. So I have no idea. I have no idea what the plan for that is. I can't imagine a lot of people are subscribed to it. I know the number was around 10,000 people were subscribed to Honor Club. I have no idea if that's an accurate number now. I would imagine it's less. I do like that it exists in some capacity. I just don't know what the direction is.
Exactly. I think that's the majority of the sentiment, that as a wrestling fan, you like that it exists.
Yeah.
But what's the deal? What's the deal with Ring of Honor?
I don't know.
And let's see. Ooh, this is from Alex Kariglu. Hey guys, Kalo Pasha. Greetings from Greece. Christos and Esti. In your opinion, who is better, Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné?
I like Mercedes. I like this version of her.
I do too. Yes.
Me too. Yeah.
Christos and Esti.
Christos and Esti.
He has risen.
Now that they're not scripting her like she was in WWE, much more natural.
Yeah, much more
in
natural.
an obnoxious way.
Yeah. You still have to do the dance for us, MG. No. Is he doing it?
He did it. Do it again. CEO. CEO. Oh, God.
I need my little puppet. I need my puppet.
No. Oh, yeah.
Stitching himself back together every morning.
You asked for it. You asked for
Look,
it.
dude, look. Hold on. Look at his neck. Look at the line. Look at his stitch line.
Oh, I can see it. The stitches are coming loose.
I told you. They're coming loose, dude.
That does it for questions right now.
That's it? All right. That's it. And I got to get out of here.
You can wrap it. Yeah.
Boys and girls, this was a blast. I'll be back on Sunday with Wrestling Observer Live, recapping night 1 of WrestleMania. I'll be here with my producer, MG. Rich and I will be back on Tuesday for Beyond the Bell, hopefully. I want all you guys to enjoy your WrestleMania weekend. Watch as much wrestling as you can. It's a fun weekend. This is our Super Bowl, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
See you all next time. Bye-bye.
Later.